A long time ago, the preserving force of the universe was laying around. He's kind of famous for laying around. That's kind of his specialty. So this preserving force was sort of stretched out along his couch, and he looked down and saw on Earth something kind of interesting. He saw that somewhere amidst all the technology and science and development and civilization, that lots of people on Earth were still somewhat restless. They were still a little bit unhappy. And he saw that these Earthlings were getting excited about concepts like spirituality and yoga, but that somewhere along the way they had started to get a little confused. There was lots of schools, lots of aspects of the tradition, right? There was lots of different teachers, different kinds of yoga. And he could see that somewhere amidst all that choice, there was some confusion. And he thought to himself, maybe there's a way to make this simpler for everyone. And so he decided to send down a messenger to kind of simplify yoga for everybody. And the form he chose to sort of imbue with this message of unity was a snake, a universal symbol of knowledge. So down comes this snake from the heavens. Meanwhile, there's this young yogini who had been praying for a child. You get the feeling she kind of had the mechanics of making babies all figured out, but she hadn't gotten pregnant. And so every day she'd go down to the river and she'd scoop up a cup of water and she'd hold it up to the sun and pray. One day when she opened her eyes, there was a child in her hands. The child looked a little different from the child she was expecting, but she raised him. She treated him like her own and loved him. She named him Patanjali. So Pata comes from kind of fallen, something that drops. And Anjali means hands folded in prayer. So the name just means a fallen offering, right? A gift. So Patanjali grows up to be a great yoga teacher. He travels around and gives great talks. And sooner or later, right, his popularity grows. He's growing more and more of a following. He's got like 100,000 Instagram followers. Really impressive. So Patanjali is a little bit of a performer, like some other people I know. And Patanjali doesn't teach like most yoga teachers. He teaches more like the Wizard of Oz. He teaches from behind a curtain. And there's only really one rule when you go to hear a Patanjali talk. Don't go behind the curtain, right? So all these people come from all over the East to hear him speak, but no one's allowed to see behind the curtain. And of course, after some time, people start to bring their families, their children, and of course, what happens when you tell some kids not to go behind the curtain? What do? They go behind the curtain. Right? So one day, a child sneaks behind and peels back the curtain and sees something strange. He sees a kind of monstrous figure with the lower body, the lower torso of a serpent coiled 3.5 times, with the torso of a human with 1,000 necks, 1,000 heads, 1,000 pairs of eyes, and 1,000 mouths, all talking simultaneously. Each of these mouths was speaking a different message to a different student on the other side of the curtain. And so the lesson that the sort of preserving force in the universe sent down to us was not that one yoga tradition, that one school of yoga, that one type of yoga, or that one yoga teaching is perfect for everybody. Instead, the lesson was, find the yoga that works for you. Right? That's going to be different from the yoga that works for her, for him, and for everyone else in the room. Find the yoga that works for you. And this is the story of Patanjali. My name is Banyan Gallagher, and I love stories.